Welcome back to the Creative Business Mindset Podcast. I am your host, Jane Bellante. Thank you so much for being here. I am live in my Limitless Creators Hub free Facebook group every Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time. Or you could be listening to the replay on Apple or Spotify or watching on YouTube. Either way, I'm so glad that you are here. Today is a really, really important conversation. And it's something that affects me, and it's something that affects all of the people that I coach. It is a pain point for so many. And I want to talk today about money. And it's not in the way that most business podcasts do, because you know that I don't do what everybody else does, right? I go way deeper. And we're not talking about strategy. We're not talking about how to price your stuff, not talking about like 10 ways to sell more. I want to go straight into money as energy, money as identity, because that's like what it's all about. And money is the mirror of what you're actually holding inside yourself. And this is definitely one of the most charged topics in our world. Would you agree? It is something that brings up fear and shame and longing. It brings up excitement, it brings up envy, and it brings up possibility, all at the same time. All at the same time. So how can all of those things exist with one single topic? Because money itself is neutral. It's the meaning that we attach to it, the identity that we carry around it that makes it feel either expansive or contracting. So I want to talk first and foremost about money as identity. And every single belief that you carry about money is not really about money. I want you to understand this. It's actually about you. So here's some examples. If you believe making money's hard, what you're really saying is, I'm someone who has to struggle for what I want. Does that make sense? If you believe I am not good with money, what you're really saying is, I don't trust myself to hold and sustain abundance. And if you're here live with me, I want to know in the comments if any of this is resonating with you. If you believe rich people are greedy, what you're really saying is, I can't become wealthy without losing who I really am. And all of this lives at the level of identity, because consciously we can understand that we want and we deserve money, right? Because, you know, like it or not, we live in a society that relies on money. We need money for literally everything. Money equals freedom to a lot of people, but it really is just understanding what you actually think about money. This is the level of identity that I'm talking about, because what you think about money drives your behavior with money. And I'm not talking like what you consciously think about money. I'm talking about those things that are running as your story in the back of your mind all the time. So identity drives your behavior, right? Because your thoughts, you've heard me say this before, your thoughts turn into the biology of your body. That's what drives your behavior. Behavior drives action, right? Behavior drives your results. If you are unconsciously living out an identity that doesn't align with wealth, it does not matter how many strategies or spreadsheets you make, your actions will always bend back towards who you believe yourself to be at the identity level. So the real question here is, who are you being when you think about money? Are you being the version of you who always has to hustle, who always fears that you're going to get like an overdraft fee, the bottom's going to fall out, always fears that like the second you have it, money's like a hot potato and you have to spend it? Or are you being the version of you who sees money as a natural extension of your creativity, your expansion, your contribution? Right? Because the people that listen to this podcast that are here live with me, or most of the people, have a business, have a creative business. And money is reciprocation, right? And that's what I mean about your contribution. What are you contributing to the world with your creativity that you would really like to make money from? That's the reciprocation. That's the give and take. And let me ask you this. How do you feel when I say receiving money? If you're here live with me, tell me in the comments right now, how do you feel when I say receiving money? Or let me take it further, receiving money from your work. How do you feel? And this is really, really wild, right? I mean, if we're going to get down to it, everything in life is energy, right? Everything is. We conceptually know this. We're made of cells. Cells are made of energy, right? So what if you thought of, because it's true, what if you thought of money as energy? Money moves. That's its nature. It's not meant to be held in fear. Pam says, I feel excited. Yes. It's not meant to be held in fear or gripped in scarcity or chased after like it's your prey, right? It flows in and out in alignment with your own energetic state. And, you know, our energetic states, we're humans, right? So sometimes it feels like like all over the place, right? It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. So money is flowing in and out of alignment with that state. So when you're in contraction, which looks like fear, lack, never enough, right? You know that was me. Not enough, never enough. Not enough, never enough, right? Money mirrors that contraction. It feels like it's drying up. It's disappearing. You can't find it. You better force it to come. Otherwise, it's never going to come. You're never going to have enough, right? Bills are never going to get paid. Bank account's never going to be full. Always fearing that bounced $30 bounced fee or whatever it is, right? That's contraction. That feels like this. Feel it here in your throat. You feel that sinking feeling in your stomach. Someone stepping on your chest. That's contraction. That's massive fear. So when you're in expansion, it's a totally different feeling. Trust, creativity, and openness. Money actually mirrors that expansion. It arrives in unexpected ways, it multiplies, and it grows in momentum. And I want to ask you this, like, Have you ever received money that you didn't know was coming? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever received money that you did not know was coming? That's what it feels like to detach. And that's the exciting thing that can happen to you again and again and again when you are in expansion. Money does not respond to force. Take it from me, I did that for years. And I am so aware that a lot of the people that I coach are still in this force. They're still in the lack mindset. They're still in contraction. Money does not respond to force. It responds to your frequency. The moment you stop treating money as the gatekeeper and start treating it as the amplifier of your energy, everything changes. If you're in this high frequency of trust and creation, money amplifies that. And I know that you're saying, well, how am I supposed to trust this if it's not coming in? How am I supposed to trust? How am I supposed to trust and just know that it's going to come? Right? And my answer is you have to practice it. You have to discredit your thoughts that say, I am so afraid that this is never going to come in. Because if your thoughts create your life, your biology creates your action, right? If you're thinking money's never going to come in, guess what's going to happen? Money's not going to come in. You're always going to stay in that choking feeling. So it's a practice. It's discrediting the fear. Like this, you've heard me say this a million times too. Is this true? Like, is it true that money's never going to come in? If you're in a low frequency of fear and doubt, money amplifies that. So the work here is not to chase money. The work is becoming the person whose energy money wants to multiply. Money wants you. It's so hard to understand that. And your frequency attracts. Right? So what you give, you get. Your frequency attracts. You put it out and you get it back. And so if your frequency is super low and you're afraid of money, money's not going to come. You're going to have this like Groundhog Day every day where it's always the same. It never changes. And I want to ask you, do you want to live in that? Are you sick of being there? You can change this because your thoughts create your life. So what are you intentionally creating? You're like, well, I would never intentionally create being broke. I would never intentionally create being afraid of money. But if you take a step back and learn where you're at from the identity level, you can understand that this is, in fact, what you are intentionally creating. And most of your beliefs about money did not come from you. They were inherited, handed down from your parents, your community, your culture. So here's some phrases you might have heard growing up. Money doesn't grow on trees. I literally heard that all the time. We can't afford that. Heard that all the time. You have to work hard to get ahead. Heard that all the time. One that I didn't hear, but I hear from others, easy come, easy go. And none of these are truths. They're programs. It's programming. You hear the term brainwashing. Oh my God, he's so brainwashed. I want you to understand that this is what brainwashing is. This is a limiting belief. It's something that you hear over and over and over, and you believe it to be true. And what is a belief? Just something that you believe in, right? It's a program. When your brain believes it, that's when you see it. So if you believe money doesn't grow on trees, guess what? You're going to be broke. You're not going to find it. It's not going to come to you in abundance. And these programs, they're stored in your subconscious brain. And now they're operating your business. They're operating your decisions. They're operating your emotions without you even realizing it. And the subconscious brain's not going to argue with you. It simply runs the program. So if the program says there's never enough, your nervous system is going to continually seek out experiences to prove it true, and it's going to keep you feeling like you're choking. You're going to feel that anxiety, however you feel it in your body. It's going to keep it happening over and over and over. If the programming says I can't be trusted with money, you'll find ways to spend it, to lose it, or to avoid receiving it in the first place. You'll get an unexpected bill in the mail. Like, you will not be able to keep it. And the only way to shift this is through awareness and reprogramming, not forcing yourself into affirmations that you don't believe, but actually seeing. I talk about awareness all the time. Actually seeing this programming for what it is and deliberately choosing something different. Deliberately choosing something different. Pam said, if I would always be worried about sales, I would never enjoy showing and selling my art. I would feel so disappointed after shows, so I don't focus on it, right? And what you focus on grows, right? So if you're focusing on I'm never going to sell anything or people don't like my stuff, that's what happens. You know, and I can look back in my life, especially, you know, I've been a business owner for what seems like forever, right? And I can see how these patterns played out for me. I was afraid people weren't going to buy. You know, and it's funny because I can look back when I started painting furniture, I was the only one around that did that. And so I did not have that running through my mind because my pieces, sold so fast. Like they would sell within like 10 minutes. Literally. It was insane. And so I had this running in my brain like my pieces sell super fast. And guess what happened? They sold super fast. So I can look back and go, oh my gosh, I see how those thoughts created my experience. I can also look back and see how the thoughts of nobody's going to sign up for my stuff has also played out as well. So those two things are evidence. One is evidence of high frequency trust, excitement for what I was doing. One was, oh my God, am I enough? I'm totally fearful. I don't think anybody's going to sign up for this. It's two totally different frequencies. Do you see what I'm saying? So we want to consciously expand our capacity to receive. It's not just about attracting money, but it's hanging on to it too. And remembering that we're manifesting all the time. Manifesting isn't just, I'm going to manifest this amazing thing. Manifesting is how your thoughts create your experience around you every day in every way. So sometimes we can manifest a big sale. We could have a great month, or we can finally, put the program out that we want to put out and have people sign up for it. And then almost as quickly it goes. And why is that? It's because the capacity to hold money hasn't expanded to match the ability to attract it. So maybe you can attract it, but when it comes in, like I said, it's like a hot potato and you're like, ah. And you don't even think that. You're like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to get that. Oh my God, I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to do this. I'm paying all these bills, whatever. And this is where identity and energy meet your biology. If your nervous system is wired for scarcity, guess what? Holding more doesn't feel safe. Even though you're so sick to death of being scared about having money, of never having enough. The body actually interprets abundance as a threat because it doesn't match the familiar pattern. And that familiar pattern is what's safe, whether you like it or not. And so unconsciously you spend it. You sabotage it. You create chaos to release it. So expanding your capacity to receive means training your identity, your nervous system, and your energy to normalize wealth, to feel safe with more, to see yourself as the kind of person who naturally creates and receives and sustains abundance. And this isn't just about money. It's about time, success, visibility, and love. And money's just the mirror. So as you walk away from today's episode, I want you to sit with this idea. Money is not the problem. Money is not a villain. And it's not even the solution. Money is the mirror. It shows you exactly where your identity is rooted, what energy you're embodying, and how much capacity you have actually built inside of yourself to receive. So if you want more, don't start with chasing money. Start with aligning with who you are being. And if you don't understand who you're being, look around you. Look at your life. What are you sick of? Look at your bank account. Are you sick of that? Start with expanding your frequency of trust and creation, and start with building your capacity to hold more. Because when you do, money just doesn't show up. It stays, and it grows, and it amplifies everything you already are. And you begin to see it. Once your brain believes it, you begin to see it. So understand where you're working from at the identity level and begin to discredit those thoughts and wire in and embody new thoughts about who you are with money. Because remembering, money is energy and it attracts to your frequency. So where are you living? How are you feeling on a day-to-day basis? And that is where it starts. So I want to thank you so much for being here, and I will be back next week, Monday at 10 a.m. Central Time, live in the Limitless Creators Hub. Or you can always listen to the replay or watch it on YouTube. Thank you so much. I trust that this was helpful for you, and I will see you next time.